concerned?
I am concerned because we know how he did it leaping over Buda Baker, which was a great play, right? But that's when he injured his hand. And the thing is this, he was being Superman. They have put him in position this year where he's got to be Superman all the time. Like, that's how they're putting him in that position where that's how we're going to win. Josh carries, throw the touchdowns and run for most of the touchdowns. Like, and maybe Keon Coleman and y'all like Khalil Shakir, maybe they will become special, but at this moment, they're good receivers, and that's it. They don't have any other stars. Their tight ends are good, but they have put him in position where this is what it's going to take for us to win. And, yeah, Mahomes has been in position where he has to be Superman, but he's going to do it differently than Josh. He's going to throw the football. Burrow. Josh is going to be Superman kind of like Lamar's going to be Superman, where you're going to be running and you're going to put yourself in harm's way. And so, yeah, it concerns me that he could be getting banged up every few weeks.
So this is the endless cycle of Josh Allen, and we'll see if at some point he can break out of it. It goes something like this. Josh tries to be a traditional, normal quarterback. He struggles a bit, has some inaccuracy, turns the ball over some, gets maybe a touch of criticism, and then leans into this dual threat Superman version, looks unbelievable. People get excited. Some folks, if we can show the Gerald McCoy thing, some folks get a little too excited. If a person goes out and says Josh Allen's the best quarterback in football, you can't get upset. Rex Ryan says he is the best. And then, while he is looking like that, he gets dinged playing like that and has to pull it back, and then we get back to needs to play traditional style of quarterback. So for they are in a weird spot because Josh Allen playing the way he did in week 1 is the most dangerous version of Josh Allen.
Yep.
It also generates the least dangerous version of Josh Allen, which is, remember a couple years ago? Well, what do you want from him? His elbow was hurt for 4.
Okay, that's the end of the clip, and I just have to call nonsense on this. Right, saying that Josh Allen is only, when he's asked to be a traditional quarterback, he looks like inconsistent and inaccurate and turns the ball over and this or that. It's because the team is not designed to support him in that way. Okay, he hasn't had the personnel, he hasn't had the coaches. Like it's not fair. Like, what are you talking about? It does not make sense. Okay, Josh Allen has to resort to playing this way because the team can't win without him doing it. This idea, though, that when he tries to play a different style of football, that the team can't win and it's on Josh Allen, no, it's because of the football team around him, okay? And the identity of the offense and the play calling, the play design. And that might change a little bit with their newer offensive coordinator. I mean, he hasn't even had a whole, this will be his first whole season. But it's just, I mean, to put that on Josh Allen is absurd. It really is. It is absolutely absurd. And it's just not fair. And this idea that Patrick Mahomes, has to be Superman for the Chiefs, it's done in a different way. Right, it's not done as physically. They need Josh Allen to be physical. Josh Allen needs to literally barrel through the defense. Right? He has to put his head down and just barrel through and sacrifice his body. Patrick Mahomes is not asked to do that. When he's asked to be Superman, he's kind of asked just to kind of scramble or, again, Andy Reid is a master at scheming guys wide open to give at least Patrick Mahomes layups, or he has a consistent great defense that will help him all last year. Josh Allen has not had that level of consistency, and it's just not fair. I just reject that wholeheartedly. The other thing that I found really surprising was that Buffalo Bills fans got really angry when these guys up there, and myself for that matter, and Greg Jennings said that this isn't sustainable, that they asked Josh Allen to do too much. And I mean, people were very upset about that in the comments. They were like, what are you talking about? Josh Allen has all this help, all this support. And they start naming all the weapons and stuff like that. He only had to throw 24 times or whatever it is. And it's like, you're missing the forest for the trees right now. Yes, was it a little bit more spread out in terms of not asking Josh Allen to throw the ball 40 times and he didn't have to, run for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 times. He didn't have to run for 100 yards. Yes, I agree with that. But at the end of the day, when you needed to have a gotta have it moment, they needed Josh Allen to lay his body on the line. To lay his body on the line. That is what he does. That is what he is asked to do, and that is the way how the Buffalo Bills can only win. And that is not on Josh Allen. That is using Josh Allen's greatness and his eliteness and his next level ability to be a quarterback and an athlete. But that is what's not sustainable. That is when the Dolphins are asking him to do too much. When the moment needs it, when the game needs it, they just need Josh Allen to be Superman. It's just, Josh Allen, you got to throw the most perfect ball ever, or you got to put your head down and just be an unbelievable athlete and lay it all on the line. That's the problem. That's when we say that, they asked Josh Allen to do too much, or that it's not sustainable. Because Josh Allen did scramble by time in the pocket in against the Chiefs in the playoffs and scramble around and throw perfect balls. And his wide receivers didn't catch it. They hit him he hit them in the hands and they didn't catch it. That's when we talk about not supporting Josh. That's when we talk about Josh Allen, because we would have seen that as Josh Allen being Superman in that moment. But just like when Patrick Mahomes is Superman, he still needs the wide receivers to catch the ball. Travis Kelce's still laying out, having unbelievable catches against the Ravens. Right, having big time moments. It's not just that Patrick Mahomes does it all himself when he's asked to be Superman. There's a lot more at play there. A lot more strategic play calling by Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes has to be magical, has to be Superman for like 1 to 2 plays a game, whereas it feels like Josh Allen has to do it like throughout the entire game. Like, that's kind of the difference. It just seems like Josh Allen never gets a break with the Bills. And I think that's why maybe a lot of Bills fans are get like angry and defensive, because they're like, what are you talking about? This team's great. We support Josh, yada, yada, yada. And I just don't see it that way. I really don't. And so, yeah, when he is banged up, and when you are banged up after week 1, it's a long season and it's frustrating. It really is. And some of it is on Josh Allen. I will completely concede that. Some of it is on Josh Allen. This is his DNA, without a doubt. But I blame coaching for that, because I think it would have been Patrick Mahomes' DNA as well. I think Patrick Mahomes wants to sling that ball 45 times a game, 50 times a game, honestly. He does. That was what his DNA was. And it was Andy Reid that was like, all right. We got to have a more balanced approach here. We got to settle down. We got to get a little bit more organized. Yeah, you love to scramble. Yeah, you love to be Superman. That's awesome. I want you to be it. You're doing it too much, though. It's okay. Check the ball down. Throw it away. Sometimes you got to take a sack. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And we saw that growth come from Mahomes. Josh Allen hasn't been supported in that way. And so, yeah, and especially when that defense kind of gets carved up by Kyler Murray, you're asking Josh to kind of do all this work, to kind of get it done. But I just don't like this idea that they're saying, that Nick is saying that Josh Allen is just like, well, not really, when you want him to be a little bit more traditional of a quarterback, he can't, and he fails at it. And it's like, that's just incorrect. Under that logic, then that's what happened to Patrick Mahomes last year when his numbers went down. Because the team wasn't there, he had to be a little bit more traditional of a quarterback. He couldn't throw the ball downfield as much. He couldn't, do his more magical Superman type stuff, and his numbers went down. It was tough. They were all there. That was a defensive-led team. Under that logic, well then, it wasn't working for Patrick Mahomes, and that's not accurate. I don't see it that way either. So don't put that on Josh Allen, because Josh Allen doesn't have the same level of support. He doesn't have Andy Reid calling the plays. He doesn't have a ruthless defense that's keeping teams down to like 18 points. He doesn't have that Travis Kelce who when you do need that security blanket, you got it. And again, I'm not saying that the Bills have this trash garbage team, right? Like as Brew kind of, started naming the players, like I'm not saying that at all. And this is also unfortunately, this take was a combination between this season and just like seasons past. So I apologize if it got a little confusing. But just focusing on this year, the thing that I want to emphasize based off of the reaction of the last video, because people seem to be genuinely confused about all that's on Josh Allen's plate. When they had to score, right, they're asking him to throw those touchdowns, to do all that, and then when they needed to get the ball in the end zone, he had to do it all himself. That's what he needed to do. Without those plays, even if it's just 1 or 2 plays where he is laying his body on the line, literally getting injured, that's asking your quarterback to do too much. It just is, and that is not sustainable. Just like how the game wasn't sustainable for Lamar Jackson against the Ravens. Lamar Jackson also laid his body on the line for that game, and it wasn't enough against the Chiefs because he also couldn't make the throws when he needed to. That's part of the problem. So, yeah, it's I don't want to act like this is like sounding the alarm, like, because I think the question is kind of like almost, embedded in that, like, how concerning is this? And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a concern. You would like it not to be. To me, it's more of a concern that this season has already started off with Josh Allen having to be a Superman. And that's what kind of Brew is saying, is like the only way this team can win is that way. It just feels like that nothing is given easy to Josh Allen, and there's just always a lot on his plate, and then this is what you get. And again, kudos to Josh for just always putting it upon himself, taking it upon himself to get the job done, to do everything he can to put this team in a position to win football games. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask from your quarterback. And I would just love to see him not take some of these hits, to not sacrifice his body, because I'd rather him have a longer career than a shorter, more potent career. But this idea that some of the comments where people say, oh, people say that he's the best quarterback in the league, you can't be mad about it. Like it's insane for anyone to even remotely utter that. I mean, I don't know what you're seeing here. Josh Allen is an unbelievable quarterback. He's better than Lamar. He's better than Joe Burrow, right? I think a lot of people are comfortable saying it's Patrick Mahomes, like Lamar, and Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Josh Allen is next level elite. He is an elite runner, an elite athlete, and an elite thrower of the ball. What else do you want from your quarterback? He is elite. There is no question about it. No denying it. No moving the goalposts around. He is elite. Someone recently said, "Oh, well, he always chokes away games, in the playoffs." It's like, what? Like, what? Under what logic is that statement made? I don't understand how we get the conversation around Josh Allen so wrong. I really don't. I think it's driven primarily around Patrick Mahomes fans. And maybe even to a degree, Patriots fans, Tom Brady fans, because of obviously the Bills. But it's just like, it just seems like we just can't have real, honest conversations around just how great Josh Allen is and what he's been able to do with the Buffalo Bills. Like it continues to be one of the more surprising things that I experience doing this channel, honestly. Just how people just can't seem to understand just how amazing Josh Allen is. And at this point, it almost feels like some of the Buffalo Bills fans don't even really appreciate just how elite Josh Allen is. Most of them do, but some of them in the comment section, I find it very surprising. And like they seemed that they were defending the team more over Josh Allen, and I fail to see why personally. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Are you concerned about Josh Allen already being banged up after week 1? Do you think this is sustainable? Do you think that the Bills do ask Josh Allen to do too much? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.